Brilliance Audio presents Hot Secret by Sherryl Woods, performed by Tavia Gilbert. Hot, tired, and drained from the nonstop tension, Molly sat at the Cardoza's porchfront cafe in Miami Beach's rejuvenated Art Deco district and sipped on her 10th iced tea since dinner time. If she hadn't been working, she would have ordered something a lot more lethal. The thought of a pina colada or maybe a straight shot of scotch held an almost irresistible appeal. The door of Veronica's trailer crashed open, and the star emerged in a dramatic swirl of hot pink chiffon that was more suited to a boudoir than to a public place. It was not a costume. Veronica dressed to suit her glamorous image. The actress caught sight of Molly and made a beeline for her table. She flounced into a chair amid a cloud of pink. It was indicative of the neighborhood, a haven for trendy yuppies and high-fashion European models that no one paid the slightest attention. "That man," she said in an apparent reference to the film's director, Gregory Kinsey, "has the talent of a toad. I will not listen to another word he says." Since Veronica was making her comeback film after years of alcoholic decline, Molly thought it prudent to suggest a spirit of cooperation. "I'm sure he has your best interests at heart," she said. "Ha!" Veronica gestured to a passing waiter and ordered a double vodka on the rocks. Apparently she wasn't worried about either slipping off the wagon or falling down drunk in her final shot of the night. "After all, it's his reputation on the line as well," Molly ventured, feeling infinitely braver since her first observation hadn't drawn fire. She didn't dare suggest that Gregory Kinsey, whose last two pictures had been money-making Academy Award nominees, hadn't needed to take a risk on a woman who'd dragged her own last two films into over-budget box office debacles. Besides, she felt a certain amount of sympathy for the 50-something actress, whose once gorgeous face and career had been ravaged by alcohol. She admired the spunk it had taken to ignore all of the vicious tabloid gossip and return to the screen in a less than flattering role, a role Kinsey reportedly had fought to offer her. The fact that the two had been at loggerheads since the first day of production was no secret, and Molly wondered why the up-and-coming Gregory had bothered trying to salvage the woman's downsliding career. Veronica gulped down the drink and ordered another. "You know, dear, you're really wasting your time in this town," she said, giving Molly a critical once-over. "You ought to move to L.A. That's where the industry is. Half the producers in that town would kill to have someone who could keep things organized the way you do. Does that boss of yours, Vince, what's his name, appreciate you?" The concept of self-absorbed Vincent Gates displaying gratitude was enough to make Molly smile. "No, but I happen to love Miami," she said. "And I'm not the issue. You are. What will it take to make you happy? Is there something I can do to make this shoot easier on you?" Veronica seemed startled that anyone honestly cared what she wanted now that her stardom had crashed like a meteor plummeting to Earth. "Maybe you could go talk to Gregory," she said, slowly warming to the idea. "He'd listen to you. He's surrounded by all those sycophants. I haven't seen so much bowing and scraping since I met the Queen. Did I ever tell you that story, dear? Well, never mind. Now's not the time. You go speak to Gregory, and then we'll talk about all that ancient history." Molly was flattered by Veronica's faith in her persuasiveness, but she seriously doubted that the director was the least bit interested in her amateur opinions. From what she'd observed this past week on the set, Gregory Kinsey had a pretty good idea of exactly what he wanted in every shot. Barely into his 30s and riding an artistic high, he wasn't the type of director to encourage input. "What exactly is the problem between you two?" Molly asked. "This god-awful script is the problem. Have you read it? Does it make a bit of sense to you? No," she answered before Molly could comment. "Of course not. No woman my age is going to chase around after some worthless twerp like Rod Lukens. What kind of a name is that, anyway? It sounds like some cowboy drifter."